What do you do if you're ripped off and don't know where to turn?
I did outline all the faults in the vehicle. He rejected all those.
Court of law backs you, but you still don't get your money.
Little did I know how long it would take to try and recover the money from him. Sorry.
It's time to call the sheriffs.
We have every right to enter the premises by force if necessary. We will be entering that building.
Sheriffs are High Court enforcement officers who recover what a court judgment says is owed.
The writ orders us to come here and seize goods to the value of this debt.
They're the experts in getting cash that's rightfully yours.
£1,323.
But fighting for the underdog isn't a job for the faint-hearted.
Why self-lodged?
I will back that truck straight through your windscreen.
Debtors aren't pleased to see them.
They're harassing people.
Because they hate paying up.
Are you happy for me to just leave you some paperwork?
No, I'm not. Go away.
In today's programme, the sheriffs go into battle on behalf of an 80-year-old pensioner who's owed over £1,000 by the owners of an auction house. The debtors give their visitors a hostile reception.
Don't come over here with that camera, I'm telling you that now. With the way I feel, I'll knock you out.
The sheriffs confront a plumber who charged a customer £2,000 for a bathroom fitting he never even started.
Why are you here?
Because it's still owed. The money's still owed.
What are you here for?
To collect the money.
And 65-year-old Paul Gravett won a personal injury claim after a fall left him in agony.
It was unbearable, and I had to go to hospital with it because I couldn't stand the pain much longer.
Paul was awarded £4,000 but never got his cash. Can a sheriff put that right? Beryl, a 90-year-old pensioner who lives in a care home in Middlesex, needs the help of the sheriffs. Beryl's relatives decided to auction some of her furniture for her, but it all went badly wrong.
Beryl lived all her life, she's a spinster, she lived all her life either caring for her parents or working. She held a very responsible job in the NHS.
But when Beryl reached her 80s, her health started to decline.
Unfortunately, dementia set in and she was unable to care for herself at home, and over a prolonged period, with increasing amounts of carers at home, she gradually deteriorated, and we had to move her into a residential care home, which is where she is now.
In 2010, Sheila's husband, David, asked the local auctioneers to sell some of Beryl's belongings to raise some funds for her. The property was sold at auction, and they waited patiently for Beryl's money to arrive.
And no cheque. And at this point, we just thought, well, that's not right.
And this went on for about 2 months. Throughout January, then I started to phone them, I emailed them.
They would never come up with anything. They'd always promise us, oh yes, it'll be next week or whatever, and nothing would appear.
The old cliché, the cheque will be in the post, and it never was.
You know, she needs this money. It's to help her in her final years have what she needs. So we should make every attempt to get what is hers for her.
David and Sheila went to the county court and got a judgment for £1,503. But the auction house still didn't hand over Beryl's cash.
Even though that the court's decision is that the auction house need to pay up, there doesn't seem to be any kind of stick in order to make that happen. There doesn't seem to be any way of gradually increasing the pressure on the auction house to make sure that they do pay. I'm lost in all of this because I don't really understand why at some stage there isn't a further threat.
But there is a further threat. The High Court Enforcement Office. Their job is to get people the money they're owed. When Sheila and David found out about it, they contacted the sheriffs here in Croydon. And now they're swinging into action. Lawrence Grix and Kev McNally are on their way to the auction house in North Finchley. The auctioneers now owe over £2,000 because of interest and court costs. But the biggest settlement the sheriffs have ever had is £5 million. So they're pretty confident about sorting this more modest sum.
It's only about £2,400, so I'm quite hopeful that we'll be able to get that cleared quite easily. But we'll see when we get there. Hopefully it should be open because of the time of day we're there, and it is a, you know, is a commercial premises. So hopefully we'll be all right.
Lawrence and Kev have arrived at the auction house. It's time to get Beryl her money.
Hello there, you in charge, sir?
I am at the moment, yeah, I am at the moment.
Chase my ID, my name's Mr Griggs. I'm a High Court Enforcement Officer.
Yeah.
I'm here today to enforce a High Court writ on behalf of a claimant, Mrs Sheila Fathers. You don't know anything about it. It's against Euro UK2 Limited, trading as NL Auctions, yeah. Which is here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, there was property auctioned off and they never received the proceeds, and they've got judgment.
What was that?
Let's see if I've got that in now. I think I've got the actual copy of the auction paperwork. 15th of November 2010. I've got a list here of what was sold.
At this point, the camera operator was asked to leave the auction house.
I'm here today, sir, to collect £2,283.40 in cleared funds, or I'll be removing goods.
The man tells Lawrence he's had no notice of this writ, he knows nothing about it, and the property on display doesn't belong to the business.
Well, that's down to you or whoever to prove, because we are ordered here to remove goods today, and that's what we're here to do.
The man makes a phone call and then asks to see the High Court writ.
I've got a stamped copy there. That's basically just a copy without the stamp on that I'm happy for you to have. It's basically exactly the same. That was a copy of the original judgment. Obviously nobody turned up or bothered to reply to it. Okay. So it's what's known as a judgment in default, because nobody from this company filed a defence against it. But this is the stuff that was sold. I've got the list of stock here that was sold, which our client has provided us with.
The phone call the man made was to his wife. She's just arrived.
Right, I've given your colleague here a copy of the original County Court judgment, and this is a generic copy of the writ.
The woman asks if the writ is for the disputed figure, £1,503.
No, 2283.41, because it's gone to the county court, so there's court costs there. It's been transferred up to the High Court, so there's court costs there, and there's costs for us coming out today.
The woman refuses to pay the additional costs.
Right, well, I'll be removing goods then, because we don't come out for nothing.
It's not just Beryl who needs her money today. The sheriffs incur costs too. These are paid by the debtor, not the client.
Right, our fees are £588.66 plus VAT, as it says on there.
And the longer this goes on, the greater the cost. High Court Enforcement Officer overtime is £180 per hour. The owner's wife offers part payment by cheque, but that's not good enough.
It needs to be the full amount, and it needs to be in cleared funds, and that is the bottom line.
At this point, our camera operator is asked to move away.
I'm fed up with this shit. Can you move? I don't want you round here. Go. What do you think this is?
The owner's wife then shouts a bit more.
You in there? You don't come in my auction, right? Filming nothing. I'm telling you that now.
And goes in the direction of the bank.
Move it from there. That's my private.
10 minutes later, the owner's wife returns, and Beryl's money is handed over in cash.
Don't come over here with that camera. I'm telling you that now. Because the way I feel, I'll you out.
Inside the auction house, Lawrence and Kev finalise the paperwork with the man who was there when they arrived. It turns out he's one of the company directors, and he didn't like handing over Beryl's cash.
The husband got quite aggressive towards the end. I don't think he really wanted to part with the money. But in the end he did. We've given him a receipt, collected full payment, and we're on our way to the next job.
The battle at NL Auctions was par for the course for Lawrence and Kev.
People are quite often aggressive. A lot of the time the people that we're going to have been trying to avoid the debt in the first place, and the last thing they want is us turning up. And aggression is like a last-ditch, last resort to try and prevent themselves having to pay. But it doesn't work because we're used to it, and you know, if necessary we'll call the police for assistance.
An hour after arriving at the auction house, the sheriffs are on their way, and Beryl will get her money soon. We asked NL Auctions to comment. Susan Tyrone from the company said this unfortunate incident was an isolated case and occurred at a time of stress and illness in her family, and was a matter that got out of hand. She also apologised for her language at the time of filming.
We can force entry to a commercial premises.
This High Court Enforcement Office is based in London. It employs over 40 full-time officers, returning tens of millions of pounds to people owed money every year.
Oh, that's brilliant. That looks like I've got my money back.
High Court Enforcement Officers, also known as sheriffs, have more powers than bailiffs to enter properties, remove goods and auction them to settle debts.
Well, listen, I'm a director of the company. I'm now asking you to leave the premises.
From the police.
I will do.
OK.
It's a job that dates back to Saxon times, and it's busier than ever. Over 70,000 High Court writs are executed in this country every year.
We're here to seize goods.
Oh.
It's 6:30 a.m. and 2 sheriffs have been dispatched to a new job. This time, Kev's joined by Mark Newton. They're acting on behalf of a customer who paid a plumber thousands of pounds to fit a new bathroom, but he never did the work. After spending 4 months trying to get her money back, the customer got a High Court writ, which the sheriffs are about to enforce.
We're in Hertford this morning. I'm looking for Mr. Wayne Everett, who owes £4,291. We'll just go and give it a knock and see whether we can get any answers. Oh, what?
Please come in, here's my debit card for £4,500.
There's no answer, but luckily the plumber lives in the ground floor flat, so Mark can look for signs of life.
Must be though, there's someone in, isn't there?
There's got to be someone in, they just don't wake up, do they?
An old sheriff's trick is trying the tradesman's entrance button.
Get in though, isn't it?
Come at 7 o'clock.
How does he know that?
If the plumber was asleep, he isn't anymore.
Hey, I'm after Wayne Everett.
Yeah?
Yeah, that High Court writ has been issued.
Mr. Everett tells Mark that the case is being referred back to court.
We've got another hearing on the 24th.
OK, have you got any details of that here? Because we haven't been told this.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, no worries.
If Mr. Everett had left the door open, Mark and Kev could have walked straight in and looked for property to remove to clear the debt. High Court enforcement officers have significant powers to access even residential properties.
Got it.
And you're aware, like, at the moment, it's still a live writ, so it's...
Well, we're going back to court.
The court documents show that Mr. Everett offered to pay his customer £40 per month to pay off the debt, but she wanted £250 per month. Mr. Everett is now contesting the whole case.
OK, so...
All right, I'm just going to take a photo of this, just so, yeah. Have you sent a copy of this to our office, you say?
Sorry?
Have you sent a copy of this to...
The court would have done that.
No, they wouldn't.
Can I have that?
Yeah, I just want to take a photo.
I'm not going to allow you to, that's mine.
I'm not, well, I know, but otherwise they're going to say, have you seen some proof? I'll say, yeah, they go, where is it? And I'll say, well, I haven't got a photo of it.
It's going through the court.
Yeah, I know, but I just need to take a photo, so I...
Well, I'm not going to let you. You've come knocking on the door, yeah.
Because it's
you
still...
haven't done your research.
But it's still a live writ. It hasn't gone back to court, it's still live, it's still owed. You offered £40 a month, yeah?
Your client will get basically nothing when we go to court, and I'm told that I was disturbed in my partner at this time of the morning.
That's fine, yeah.
What they get at court's not for us to decide, is it?
We're not deciding anything.
No, but what? So, you know, but you saying whoever's going to get X amount of, that's not for us to decide. What we're here is...
We're not embarrassing on your point of view.
Not on our point of view, it's nothing to do with us.
We're just here to enforce a writ.
But then it's going through the court.
But it's still a live writ.
In court.
But it's still a live writ.
That's the point.
That's why we're going back to court.
No, but it's still a live writ, which is still
Whatever's
owed.
happening with that,
stage, it's
live.
still owed.
Fine, yeah, that's it.
Right, so that's why we're here.
So why are you here? What
because it's still owed. The money's still owed.
What are you here for?
To collect the money.
But we're going back to court.
I know you are.
So
okay, well, we're just going round in circles here.
So you allow us to take a picture would make it easier, wouldn't it?
Tell you what, I'll fax a copy to your office.
We've come all the way here, we could just take a photo of it, job done. Saves you faxing it, saves everyone the job.
Go on, take a photo of it.
So I'm presuming you don't want to pay them?
Well, obviously not, we're going to court.
Well, I'm just asking. Like I say, it's still a live writ and it still can be enforced until it goes back to court, until the day you go back to court and you get the answer.
A judgment.
Yeah, and the judgment may not go your way anyway.
And if Mr. Everett does lose in court, he's going to face an even greater debt. Each sheriff visit adds to the cost.
What?
I'm speaking from your client's point of view.
Yeah.
What if she loses?
Yeah.
She loses. It's costing her a fortune.
It's not costing her anything.
Well, she's got to pay for you guys.
She doesn't pay for us.
Well, it seems on the figures that she is because I'm having to pay for it myself.
Yeah, you're
if I lose.
If you lose. Yeah. You pay for it.
And if I win, who pays for you?
No one.
Oh, that's so
All right, you got the paperwork.
Okay.
All right, cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
If the sheriffs don't get any money for a client, they only charge an admin fee of £60.
Let's DVLA some cars.
Mark wasn't able to gain access to Mr. Everett's flat to list potential property for removal. But Mr. Everett may own one of the cars in the car park. If he does, the sheriffs could remove it at a later date to pay off his debt.
I'll get the lot down. I'll write a load down.
When he gets back to the office, Mark will do a DVLA check on all the vehicle registrations to see if any of them do belong to Mr. Everett.
Anyone that's worth money is on foreign plates. May have a result where he needs to pay. Then he's obviously not going to be so happy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with it in the end.
And Mark and Kev may well be making a return visit to Mr. Everett. When he finally did go to court, the judge ruled he should pay £50 a month until he clears the debt to his customer. If one payment is missed, the sheriffs will be back. Lawrence and Kev's next job is in a whole new league. It's the enforcement office versus one of Japan's largest companies, Fujitsu.
It's 8:30 in the morning. We've just arrived at Stevenage. We've got a writ against Fujitsu Services Limited, and the total outstanding at the moment is £149,481. So a vast amount of money. We've already driven past the building, and it's a massive office block. There's absolutely no doubt whatsoever that they've got the money to pay this, and I would estimate they've got the assets to cover it as well.
But Fujitsu is the world's third largest IT services provider, with over 172,000 employees worldwide. Tracking down the relevant individual to deal with this writ could be quite a challenge.
They'll have to get hold of the right people. It's as simple as that. I can't believe that an organisation as big as this wouldn't be able to get somebody to deal with this. And, you know, within reason, I won't be tolerating anything like that. I won't be tolerating excuses for, oh, we can't get the right person. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what excuses they come out with, how big their company is, they've got a debt and we're here to collect it. Hello there.
All right.
All right. Yeah, show you an idea. Yeah, we're here to execute a writ against Fujitsu Services Limited. No, we've just got Fujitsu Services, so whoever's in authority that can deal with it, we need to speak to.
No one's here at the moment, but 9 they normally come in.
They got people on reception now, have they?
Yeah, but we can't allow you on site till they come in. We get like permission from them.
Right, I understand what you're saying.
Your best bet is probably
but
make a quick phone call.
Yeah, because
just pull up anywhere on the side so I can still let traffic.
Okay. Because technically you can't stop us coming in. I know what you're saying and I fully respect your position and I'm quite happy for you to try and contact somebody who can deal with this. But when it comes to the point of law, you can't actually stop us coming in. I can understand all your security and the need for it with an establishment like this, and I'm quite happy to respect that. But I just want to
Let me just
want to establish the point. Okay.
If necessary, sheriffs can force entry to commercial premises as long as they're detached from residential living quarters. But for the time being, they decide to park around the corner and wait. But as usual, there's a bit of an issue with the sat-nav. Corners can be hard to find.
At the end of the road, turn right.
Turn right. Oh, there's no entry.
I think it's going to get relegated soon, and my 10-year-old one's going to be... It's that way.
It's saying turn right.
It's not that.
Oh, I mean, my internal compass said go that way, yeah.
So how did you ignore it, though?
The sat-navs brought them back to where they started from. They park up and discuss the upcoming negotiations with Fujitsu. Lawrence hopes the discussion won't have to be in Japanese.
Well, I know a couple of bits from watching Shogun when I was a child, and that's about it.
I don't know if that's going to...
How are you? I think it is, and I'm all right, thanks. I think there's a...
You don't know, give us £150,000?
No, unfortunately not.
The boys may need to brush up on their Japanese quick. They've been approached by security.
Hello there.
Have you got any details on what this is about? Because I can't get anybody for you unless we have some more details.
Right, what it is, it's a foreign judgment.
Right.
Looking at the language, it appears to be German, and they've got a judgment for 149,000. Well, with our costs, is £149,481.93.
Fujitsu have clearly been caught by surprise.
Can't let you into the building. I'm not allowed to let you into the building, so...
Right, unfortunately, you can't actually stop me.
I can stop you.
You can't.
At the moment, I can stop you coming into the building.
You can't.
Until I get back, so.
You can't. Whether you hear back, I'm not trying to be awkward. You know, we've been very cooperative at the moment. Your security staff have asked us to wait here. I can understand the sensitivity of your business.
I don't let you into the building. I'm in control of this building, and I'm not allowed to let you in. So at the moment,
right. Well, unfortunately, as an enforcement officer executing a High Court writ, I can force entry into a commercial premises if necessary.
We don't need permission.
You know, we do not need permission to enter your building. And what I'm asking for is
to enter the building for? Because we don't know
to seize goods.
No.
To seize goods.
We're here to seize assets.
We're here to seize goods. We're ordered. I can show you a copy of the writ.
Do we not get? Does anybody have prior notice of this?
No, because there is a judgment. Somebody within your company will know about the judgment.
Right.
The fact that it's gone unpaid means that the claimant is allowed to get it enforced at any time.
Well, can I just bring the bosses back?
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to show you the writ. If you want to look at that bit there, it actually orders us. You are now commanded to seize in execution the goods, chattels or other property of Fujitsu Siemens Limited. Okay, so that is what entitles us to enter your buildings and seize assets.
Let me just go and bring it back.
Yeah.
Lawrence can see it from Fujitsu's point of view.
I would imagine the lady herself has got absolutely no experience of a High Court writ before, so she is unaware of our powers. That's why, you know, I'm trying to remain sort of courteous about this, but you've got to tell people where they stand, and we will be entering that building. There is no question about it. We will be entering that building and we will be seizing assets because that is what we're commanded to come here and do. All we're asking for is the common courtesy not to be left sitting on the street. You know, that's an appalling way to conduct business, really, sitting on the street.
Fujitsu need to beware. Lawrence rarely gets angry, but when he does, it's not a pretty sight.
It's discourteous and disrespectful, isn't it? They're not respecting of our position, so they're getting to the point where we're going to have to be a little bit more forceful.
If the sheriffs aren't allowed in soon, Lawrence will park up, walk straight into the building and start listing property for removal. Things could turn nasty. "65-year-old Paul Gravett is a retired shop assistant who lives in York. He needs the help of the sheriffs because he won a personal injury case against a pub, but it hasn't paid up. The story starts in winter 2009. Paul was going for his regular Sunday lunch appointment with some friends, something he looked forward to all week.
Now that I've left work, I'm on my own, I live on my own, I aren't married, it's a bit of company for me, you know, and that's what I like, you know, and there's just four of us go out, and it's a bit of company. It lasts about a couple of hours, but it's nice because they have a bit of someone to talk to, basically.
That Sunday was a particularly cold day, and the pub car park was covered in snow and ice.
Dropped my friends and my cousin off at the entrance to the pub. Drove the car up to the top of the car park, locked the car up, walked down towards the entrance to the pub, which was over that side, like that, and I stepped like that. This foot went first. I went over like that, put my arm out to stop myself, and then ducked like that on my elbow. It's not what I planned for a Sunday afternoon by any means, but there we are.
Paul realised instantly he was badly hurt.
The pain was horrendous. I didn't know how I drove my car home, I just don't know.
When he got home, Paul was in agony, but he tried to grin and bear it.
The pain, as the day wore on and the night wore on, it just got worse and worse until it was unbearable, and I had to go to hospital with it because I couldn't stand the pain much longer.
Paul was in hospital for 5.5 hours. An X-ray revealed his left arm was broken. He was off work for 3 weeks, but realised the situation could have been so much worse.
And what was worrying me was that if an elderly person walked down that hill towards the pub and slipped and banged their head, they could have killed themselves. That's what was bothering me.
Paul felt something had to be done so lessons could be learnt. And 3 years on, he feels just as strongly.
If they'd have put salt down or sand down or even a warning sign saying, please be careful, car park very dangerous because of ice and snow, then people would have known, but there was nothing down at all. They didn't put any salt down or sand down or anything.
Paul took the pub to the county court and claimed for damages. He won his personal injury claim and was awarded £4,000, but that wasn't the end of the story.
So far, after 2 years of trying to get compensation for my injury, the Swan Hotel has not paid a single penny in compensation, no matter how hard my solicitor has tried to help me.
With nowhere else to turn, Paul went to the High Court and got a writ for the money he was owed. He contacted the enforcement office in Croydon and asked them to execute it. And now Sheriff Pete Spencer has been dispatched to the pub in Aberford, Leeds. His aim? To get Paul his money or seize goods to auction to raise the cash.
Hiya, afternoon. I'm just looking for somebody to speak to, Swan Hotel.
Okay, I'll just get the manager.
Cheers,
for
thank you.
Who's asking?
I'm an enforcement officer from the High Court.
Okay, just bear.
Thanks.
Because of court costs and interest, the total owed is now £10,683.
Hiya, you okay? You okay speaking here, or is there somewhere private we can go? Yeah. Cheers, thank you. Just an enforcement officer enforcing an High Court writ. It's regarding Swan Hotel Aberford Limited.
Right.
And the claimant's Mr. Paul Graffett.
The employee has nothing to do with this case. She tells Pete he needs to speak to the owner, Mr. White, but he's not in.
The only thing I can do is to get him on his mobile.
Please, yes, if you can.
Yeah.
What I'll do in the meantime, I've just got to levy items at the premises, so we're going to start levying items.
All right.
But if you can get them...
Sorry,
I'm just going to list the items.
It's the first time I've come across.
Okay,
so
no
I don't
problem.
Know what you, yeah, so
yeah, that's fine.
Were you going to price them?
We're going to do the list of items. It's just basically to protect the outstanding debt.
All right.
If we have to go to remove or anything like that, so I'll do it as discreet as what I can. I know you've got customers in there.
Yeah, well that's what I thought. Yeah.
And it's not only customers who'll be watching Pete listing property to remove to pay the debt.
As you can see, there's quite a few items on the wall, stuffed animals, stag's heads, which we've got down, but you write one down and you turn around, there's another two looking at you.
But Pete isn't going to look a gift horse or stuffed fox in the mouth.
I've levied 2 stuffed foxes. Just turn around now, there's a third stuffed fox looking at me from the rear over there, so I'll just have to add that as an extra stuffed animal, but I think they would sell well at auction. There's good value to stuffed items like that, and I believe they're quite saleable.
High Court enforcement officers are allowed to go wherever they want in commercial premises.
So just making a list of those items as we go around. Just items that have any value really. Tables, chairs, display cabinets and anything else. So I just need to count those down there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 16, 18.
This could be one of the most diverse inventories of Pete's career. Word has reached the owner about what's going on. He's phoned the pub and asked to speak to Pete urgently.
Right, if you're going to pay by card, it's got to be chip and pin actually with you present. So we have got a card machine, but so obviously we wouldn't be able to do that over the phone. But we like I say, you can make an offer to pay over 3 monthly instalments. Yes, that has to go to the claimant, and payments have got to come through ourselves, but you put that in writing to our office, then we ask the claimant if that's acceptable or not. The paperwork I'm going to obviously leave on site at the moment. I just need to ring our office just to make sure they're happy that I've levied all the items. Obviously do a walk-in possession agreement that if you do fail on the payments, obviously we do come back to remove items to cover the outstanding debt. That's fine. OK then, thank you. Thanks, bye-bye.
It looks like Pete may have succeeded in getting Paul Gravett his personal injury money.
He's going to put in writing to our office that he's going to offer 3 monthly payments to cover the outstanding total due. That's a good result, I think, and ultimately he's aware that if he doesn't keep to the offer that he's made, if it's accepted, that items, we'd come back and remove items.
Before he leaves, Pete hands over a walking possession agreement, which means any second visit could be less amicable than this one.
If the payment terms don't actually get paid, we've got the right to come back, whether you're here or not, to remove items to the value of the outstanding debt. Hopefully we will be back.
All right.
OK, cheers, thank you, bye-bye.
Sheriffs have been known to remove ships, sheep and even shellfish on their travels. But it seems like the Swan stuffed stags are safe, for now. Back in Stevenage, Lawrence and Kev have been waiting outside the Fujitsu HQ for over half an hour. Lawrence decides to raise the stakes.
I'm not letting you in! I'll just show them that I'm not going to try and tailgate them through. Oh, you come down to see us?
Sorry?
Are you coming down to see us?
No, I've only just got here.
Oh, right.
What we're trying to do is, because we didn't obviously know anything about...
Right, so you have come to see us?
No, I just come out to tell you that we're just finding out
Right, so you've come out to speak to us. That's what I'm trying to establish. You're not somebody walking past. You've come here to speak to us, to tell us something. I'm not trying to be awkward, but I just asked you if you come to speak to us, and you said no.
Well...
So you've got a message for us. Somebody's wants something passed on to us.
Obviously you want to come in, do you? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think we've been treated particularly professionally or courteously so far. We've done the utmost to be professional and respectful to your situation here.
Okay.
We're not looking to, come storming around the place, see all your latest technology. That's not what we're here for. We're here to execute a High Court writ, and what we're asking is to be treated in a courteous manner.
Who he's got to go to.
Yeah, well...
But we're sat out on the road, though.
We're quite happy to sit in reception while you do that. I mean, obviously I wasn't trying to tailgate that vehicle through or anything like that. We have the right to enter. If you're not going to allow me to enter, I'm just going to park my vehicle here and go in on foot. And if anybody tries to stop me, I will call the police, because it's an arrestable offence to obstruct an enforcement officer in the execution of a writ. Now, we don't want to go down that road. We just want to be treated with some courtesy.
Can I just say, we've only just got, obviously some of us have just got here.
Yeah.
We didn't know he was coming, so...
No, I can appreciate that.
So, if you give me a couple of minutes, all right? If you just pull up to give me a couple of minutes, I'll come back and see you, but...
Well, yeah, with respect, that's what the lady said about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, she's on the phone in there.
Give me a couple of minutes and I'll come back to you.
OK, sir.
This time, a couple of minutes is just that. Lawrence gets a call from Fujitsu management asking for more information about the writ.
It looks to be German, I believe, GmbH. It was a judgment initially of £117,122.64, with execution costs, interest, judgment costs, and our fees for attending today and VAT, the total outstanding is £149,481.93. We have every right to enter the premises by force if necessary, and we don't want to have to do that. OK, thank you.
Finally, things seem to be happening. Lawrence's firm but fair approach pays off.
That was the manager of the site. He's the overall head honcho here, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. He's going to allow one of us, I believe, into reception. So we're winning.
I don't know how long we're going to get till we get to a situation where we resolve it, but if we take you down to reception...
Yeah, sure.
We'll get you a coffee. So if you just turn down the left there...
Just down here, yeah?
So Lawrence not only gets a comfy seat, he also gets a coffee. But will he get any money? An hour later, Lawrence emerges. It's been an intriguing negotiation.
They got their head of legal on the phone, who didn't quite understand the situation. He thought we couldn't force an entry into a building. He actually said, "You're not going to get into our building tonight." And I said, "Well, I'm actually already in." They were unaware of the debt, don't know where it's come from, what it's all about. So I've basically given them copies of the paperwork. He was quite insistent that they weren't going to pay today. We can't turn people upside down, shake them and make money fall out of their pockets. We're there to seize goods and, if necessary, remove them. He was saying he needed time to sort that out. They were just going to go straight down to the High Court and attempt to get an injunction to stop us removing goods, which is just a waste of everybody's time. They're a massive company. They're not going to run away. If they owe the money, they will be paying it. I've absolutely no doubt about that whatsoever. They need time to look into it. So what I've done today, I've taken walking possession. So I've basically seized the entire contents of the building. Or as much of it as need be to cover the debt. If it doesn't get paid or resolved in a satisfactory manner, then we will be back and, if necessary, we will remove goods.
Walking possession means the sheriffs can list or seize property for removal at a later date if the debt isn't paid. They don't need to physically remove goods there and then. Usually this does the trick in getting debtors to pay up.
If we believe the goods are in jeopardy, we won't take a walk-in possession. We will insist on removal there and then if we're not getting payment. But the goods aren't in jeopardy here. It's a huge building, huge company. They're not going to suddenly make all their assets from this building disappear. So we were quite safe in taking walk-in possession.
Lawrence isn't leaving with £150,000 in cash, but he's still satisfied with the way things have turned out.
They were perfectly civil once we got in there. I spoke to their solicitor on the phone and we've got the outcome we've got.
And Lawrence sticking by his guns clearly did the trick. Soon after his visit, the firm owed the money by Fujitsu got its cash. Fujitsu told us that the payment delay was a genuine oversight on its part, and it took immediate steps which rectified the situation. It's now 2 months since Lawrence and Kev paid the auction house a visit. In her nursing home, Beryl has now received the £1,503 she was owed. The debt owed by Mr. Everett the plumber stands at £4,000 because of court costs and interest. The £50 per month repayments ordered by the judge are being monitored by the Enforcement Office. If any are missed, Mr. Everett will be getting another visit. And it's now 2 months since Pete visited the pub in Leeds on behalf of 65-year-old Paul Gravett, who slipped on ice in the car park. Paul's got the first instalment of the personal injury money he's owed, and thanks to the Enforcement Office, he will soon be getting the rest.
I am delighted with this outcome. I'm very grateful to these enforcement officers who have done all this for me. It was never a question of money, it was a question of principle, just to prove the hotel wrong in not having proper facilities for ice and snow.
Next time, a builder made 86-year-old Hilda Shaw fork out £4,000 for some work on her roof, and he left it in a worse state than when he started.
I was absolutely shattered. I was crying. I couldn't leave off because I realised, the mess I was getting into, and I couldn't say stop.
The sheriffs pay the builder an early morning visit to try and get Hilda's money back, and things get rather heated.
I will back that truck straight through your windscreen.
The sheriffs tried to track down a landlord who didn't pay his student tenants their deposits when they left, but he proves elusive.
I obviously don't want to deal with it over the phone, telling me to come to an address that he doesn't seem that sure of.
And office manager Joan Wales was unfairly dismissed. She was awarded compensation, but her ex-bosses didn't pay up. Can the sheriffs help?
They just thought I'd walk away and I wouldn't fight for this. But I do fight, and I am fighting because it's wrong.
Personal pressures make Grantley realise he has to make a big decision about his future as a member of staff at Waterloo Road. That's tonight at 7:30 on BBC One Wales.